Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. It's my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So, today we are going to review Terrifier 3, a movie that stars David Howard Thornton, who this will be our third movie that we'll be reviewing with him in
Having
it.
said that, this is the third Terrifier movie, and he has played the Terrifier, Art the Clown, in the three films as well.
Yes.
We've got a trifecta going on, three and three.
Yes. Don't think of it as the fact that we're just doing this because of the theme or anything like that, but it's more or less the fact we're going through it because it's Christmas time.
It just shows to be a good movie, this one, and he's showing up in these sort of creepy. We reviewed Stream the other day. That was a reasonably new film.
Oh yes.
This is so new. It's the ink's still wet on the paper. Because it was the film release at the film festival was the 19th of September 2024. A theatrical release was 11th of October, so it was 2004. So yeah, it's you're getting pretty warm. Yeah.
Yes, well,
yeah, it's only just getting onto eBay and Amazon now. So how new do you want it?
Yeah, aside from David returning for the role of Art the Clown, we also have a couple of old faces also returning in the franchise, obviously, as you will soon see.
Yeah, the leading lady, Lauren Lavera, and Samantha Scafidi. Is it Scafidi? I hope I'm saying it right, Samantha. Okay.
And Elliot Fulham.
Elliot Fulham, yeah.
Who is Jonathan, obviously.
Yes, little Johnny. Now,
as for the rest, they're pretty much
cannon fodder.
new.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I should mention, guys. Even though this is just a teeny-weeny, minuscule, cameo, Tom Savini makes a guest appearance in this one.
Just
a bystander.
He's one of our heroes.
Yeah, he's just a bystander person.
Yeah, a bit right. Yeah,
even though he's well known for that. Yeah. Even though he's well known for being an actor, producer, director, and a makeup artist to boot. Yeah. Even though he's best known for the makeup artist stuff.
He does lots of things, doesn't he?
But it's great to actually see him even just as a briefly. There's also Clint Howard, who has also been known for doing a lot of horror-related cult classic type movies over the years.
He had a bit role.
He played a bit role
in a bar.
In a bar scene. But other than that, he did okay for that role. Anyway, so
can I actually say something now?
So moving on.
Just taking all my bits. I hate it when she touches my bits. Now, okay, here we go. Right. Produced by Phil Falcone. Written by Damien Leone. Directed by Damien Leone.
Yeah, cool.
Now, we went through some of the people before, but as I go down, I don't normally do editing and different things, but Damien Leone did the editing as well. I like it when you got a hands-on approach here. See, if you're a director and you do the editing, you know what you want. You know, when you're a director and you get somebody else doing the editing, it's sort of like you can look over the shoulder and say, "Oh, no, I want that." Or the producer gets over someone's shoulder and the director gets pushed out the side. No, but it's really good. So that's why it's probably so good. Because I'll get onto that in a moment.
Go on.
Because it's only been out. Well, it's been out for a month. I don't know how long these in between hitting the cinema and these figures were posted, but the budget says it was $2 million, and in the first month it appears to have made about $82 million plus, being one of the highest grossing films around. So whatever they're doing good.
Yes, good.
Okay, so keep it up, boys.
Right.
I will say one thing. Those of you who have watched Terrifier 1 and 2, I think this is a little bit more graphic. Do you think so? A bit more graphic?
I think it was more graphic.
Yeah, so for those of you who are...
it has a higher body count on it.
Higher body count, but to me, I think it's coming a little bit more graphic. Don't tell me it was well done, works for the film. It wasn't gratuitous, okay? Because that's the sort of movie it is. But the point, I think it's getting to the stage where if they do Terrifier 4, which they're planning on doing, I believe, if they go too far, it might just scare some people off.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it getting too much.
Yeah.
So it's getting, to me, it's getting that thing where it's instead of a good chill and thrill sort of thing, it's just getting just a little bit too bloodthirsty, maybe, for some people. So just be mindful of that, because if you're going to watch this, there are... It's not so much the graphic killings, but you see things like a guy having the skin stripped off his head in front of the camera,
especially when they're still alive.
They're still alive, and things like that. You're going, okay, for those of you who are a little bit squeamish about these things, you could be getting to the stage where I'm going to look away now. I'm just going to say, just be warned, because it is getting that little bit more. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Now what else?
Of course, in this one, to lighten the load in this movie, to even it out a bit, they did a few off-screen kills. They
did one or two off-screen. Yeah.
But makes you question whether or not did Art kill them, or did they manage to escape them?
Well,
it's a lot of questions.
I think he killed them. But anyway, I will. Before I was going to talk about David Howard Thornton at the end of our program, but I got to say that when he plays Art the Clown, or when he's in stream playing number 1 or number 2, whichever.
And when he was playing the Grinch in Meme 1.
And the Grinch, he brings something weird to the role, which actually makes the character really interesting.
Yeah, I would say so.
The guy's got a great talent for. He doesn't talk.
He's like a mime.
It's all body language, and he's the way he walks, the look on his face, the way he tilts his head, everything like. It's just not one bit of dialogue I have seen in the. This is about the 5th or 6th movie I've seen him in. He doesn't talk. I'm just wondering whether he's a mute. But no, I'm going to say he's probably not. But he does it so well. He brings the part to life. He becomes sinister and mysterious without talking.
I do wonder if any of his past roles, aside from before he got casted in Terrifier, whatever roles he may have gotten casted but was allowed to speak.
I don't know. He might have a funny voice. I'm not saying he has, but like, the Marx Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got comedy guy, Crouch. Well, Harpo Marx, he played a mute. Okay, he never spoke, and that was the reason behind it wasn't because it was part of his character necessarily. Just he had a high pitched voice. He didn't like the sound of his voice on stage or on film, so he didn't talk.
Ooh.
So he made himself his role a mute. So I don't know. So it could be the same thing.
Or maybe. Anyway.
But whatever.
It doesn't matter much.
No, I was going to say, but he does it so well.
But it is interesting the amount of roles where he doesn't say anything, but at the same time they still cast him in where he's playing a mute character.
Yeah, well, Michael Myers.
And all the times he maintains it by using his hand gestures and feet
body
gestures. Body language to tell us the story.
Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees done some very similar stuff. There's no dialogue, it's just they're there. But Jason Voorhees just walks around with a machete. Michael Myers is a bit more energetic. This guy here, he's really into his work.
Yeah. So let's get on to...
tell the story before people go to bed.
But what about starring the... I don't think you did the entire acting.
Well, you went through half of them already.
Well, we only know the lead characters, obviously, but we still should
I'm not going to talk about all the canon.
But we should talk about at least some of the girls' relatives, that you'll get to see throughout this movie.
Now do you want me to talk? Okay, right. David Howard Thornton is Art the Clown. And he's a very good clown. I hate clowns, scary. Lauren Lavera plays Sienna Shaw. Now, she was in the second movie, when she was accosted by Art the Clown.
Yes.
And she went to the nut house and got better, I hope.
She did.
Yeah. Elliot Fulham plays her brother Jonathan. He reprised his role as well. Samantha Scafidi plays Victoria Hayes, the younger sister of Art's victim, Tara Hayes. Do you want to go to all the other people?
Let me see. There's this young girl that's
Well, Tom's being an easy bystander.
Girl kind of and I don't know how to spell her name. And I don't know.
Antonella Rose plays Gabby Shaw.
Yeah, she sort of becomes
Antonella.
Yeah, she sort of is a hanger-oner with our lead character.
Yeah, she's a nice little girl. She is. Yeah, and she might become a good actor one day. A bit like Linda Blair when she's little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you did mention Clint Howard. Mm-hmm. Now, interesting little piece of snippet. Phil Falcone, the producer. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, produced by Phil. Mm. He actually plays Tom, the bus driver.
Ooh.
In part of it. Yeah, interesting. Okay.
That's another thing. There's something I've been badgering myself about since this movie got started. The entire of the girl's family is named Shaw, and it's indicated that her aunt was sort of related to her, her mother, obviously, and who's also named Shaw. And shouldn't the Shaw name
they would have had a married name?
Wouldn't that mean that Greg's name would be not Shaw but something else?
Yeah, I think they made a cock up.
I think they mean little misspelling there. Because in most marriages, you take on your husband's name, and it doesn't make sense.
The husband didn't take the wife's name. So I think because she was Sienna Shaw, and her and they were Shaws as well, but she's supposed to be the sister of her mother, not the brother of her mother. Yeah, I think.
Exactly.
Could be wrong.
Yeah, usually in those types of marriages, you take either the husband's name, but it doesn't make sense why the husband takes your name.
Anyway,
doesn't make sense. But the rest of the movie is okay for a minute. Anyway, so do you want me to start into the story, or should we get?
We'll go for it.
Okay.
Anyway,
the story takes place 4 years after the incident, where we see a little girl telling her parents that there's something on the roof, and they think it's just maybe.
It's Christmas, you see. Oh, it's Santa and the reindeers. Yes, that's okay, dear.
Yeah. Anyway, turns out it's Art the Clown, and it's similar to the scene we saw it in the Meme Ones, obviously, where we see him crouching by the Christmas tree, and a little girl in that scene watches him as he goes upstairs, murders her brother, and murders her mother and father, and she hides herself in a cupboard somewhere, obviously. And her death is off screen, like I said, and then we cut to the title card and the credits. Then we flash back to the past, like 4 years, back to the time when Art the Clown was his head was decapitated, obviously.
Yes.
And a policeman is searching the scene, checking out, what occurred, and he sees the headless body of Art the Clown. Anyway, he's searching, he hears noise, and then he sees that the body somehow got up. And he soon kills the policeman and steals his head, and he heads down to the insane asylum, where he kills the security guard that was guarding the insane asylum, and Victoria, who's gone insane. Like we saw it in the last Terrifier 2, obviously. We saw her in there, and she gave birth to Art the Clown's head in a creepy fashion. And on all the walls we see Victoria loves art, in a heart shape.
She's a very artistic person.
Yeah.
Oh, not art. Okay,
yeah. Anyway, she sees him, and both of them, they go on a train back to wherever they need to go. There, they encounter a guy who's dressed for Halloween, who's dressed as
Art.
Clown.
He's really good costumes, guys.
Yeah, he wanted to go in the bloody look, but it would be.
Yeah, and next frame we see.
Art's wearing
got a new clown suit.
Yeah, he probably cleaned himself off, got the thing on,
the guy,
got his outfit. Then they they come to the house where both of them kind of. Well, Victoria slit her wrist and lies in the bath and I guess falls into a coma, while Art the clown just sits in a rocking chair and
he rocks himself to sleep for 5 years.
Then we cross over to 4 years later, where it's getting to Christmas time, and dear old what's her name? Our lead girl's name again? Sienna, who's just come out of a mental institute, obviously. I guess that since what happened, she needed a little bit of therapy to deal with, which, if you're encountering dear old Art, you need some therapy yourself.
I would.
All right.
Yep.
Anyway, her uncle picks her up and takes her over to their house, which is probably the same town from what we
think it's the same town, because I mean that's the reason why Art is still there. So he didn't go, I'll follow her around, because he didn't know what he didn't have he wasn't on the internet.
Yeah, he may have a GPS on her. I don't know. Not a GPS. I mean, like a sidekick GPS in his head, mind.
Yeah, we got a funny feeling from the first movie, because he had a close encounter of the nasty kind of Art. There's some sort of mental, spiritual link there, so he knows where she is.
Yes.
We think.
Yeah. Anyway, so she's living with her aunt, uncle, and her cousin Gabby, who's a cute little girl and helped her settle in, obviously. And of course, she's having a hard time. She starts seeing things that are not there. Still having nightmares, dreams, and creepy
friends,
stuff.
Aunt, whatever, anybody.
Yeah. Somehow the therapy after 4 years have not improved her, disposition, according to her. She also writes the stuff down in her journal.
Yeah, well, it's probably the therapist said, write everything down, help.
Get through the therapy.
Get it out of yourself and write it down, so you can read it and see, in a way, dealing with your rehabilitation.
Yeah. Her brother Jonathan, he's moved on. He's now studying at a university somewhere. I don't know where.
High school, university.
I think university now. Considering last time we saw him, he was in high school.
It's uni.
Yes. So he's put the whole Art the Clown thing behind him and thinks he's dead. The end.
Well, he's on drugs though, isn't he? So, he's not doing well either.
He's still suffering from trauma and
prescription drugs.
And of course, he sent a letter to his sister when she was in therapy regarding how Art the Clown's the little girl we saw that in Terrifier 2 is need of a vessel because a demon needs a human body to enter this world, obviously, and the only way to destroy the girl is to destroy the vessel, obviously, and to send the demons back to hell and stuff like that, we think. But of course, the girl is a no-show, and meanwhile, while this is happening, Art the Clown and his Victoria their house is going to be torn down, probably by some construction workers. So they're just gone inside.
That gets me as funny. Who owns the house and who's authorised the demolition?
I don't know. It's like
the housemate's
question.
in there for years.
Yes.
It's overgrown and rat infested and whatever. And finally, when Art and his missus have been laying in dormant for about 4 to 5 years, now they want to wake him up.
Yeah, they go and start exploring the place, and one of the guys tells him about how this place had creepy history where a bunch of children dismissing and were placed inside the basement, according to stuff like that, according to the story. Of course, he was joking.
He's pulling his leg, pulling his chain,
So while one of the guys goes upstairs to the attic, he goes downstairs to the basement. There they find Art the Clown and Victoria.
Victoria's in the basement in an old bathtub.
And she's covered in black,
and he
whatever.
thought, a dead body in here, but she wasn't quite dead.
Yeah, they both woke up, and killed the men, obviously.
She's in the bath for 5 years, though.
Yeah, and Art is, of course, he just needs a little bit of stretching and stuff. Yeah, but he eventually gets back at the swing of things.
I'm stiff in the morning.
Anyway.
5 years,
of course, back to Sienna's house. She also has flashbacks to her past, like she's thinking of her father, who's long dead, obviously, and we get and she watches him making a comic book, and she remarks to him, "Why don't you make a female
superhero, hero, yeah,
not just a female villain, not villain,
someone to be saved by the hero." Yeah.
And he says he will make one for her someday, and we then flash back to the present, where we find out that Gabby has been reading her diary.
Naughty, little precocious children.
Yes, and we don't know how much she's read, of course.
She said she read all eventually.
Yeah.
Naughty.
Anyway, still, later on, Art the Clown, he kind of runs across a drunken Santa who is at a bar with Clint Howard and another guy, obviously, and he kind of hangs out with them, and then they get drunk, pissed, whatever, and of course Art pees on dear old Santa's lap like a little child would, obviously.
Well, he can't get a lap of coal, isn't he?
He pisses the men off and they threaten him to leave the bar.
Well, that was on for everybody.
And of course,
on for Art.
He attacks them with his new makeshift weapons. He has this ice freezing cannon.
Yeah, it's like it's like a CO2 canister, but it's actually got liquid nitrogen in it, so it works a lot better.
Yeah, he tested it on some rodents before he came out there.
Some rat popsicles.
Yeah. Anyway, he kills Clint and the bartender, and he saves the Santa for last.
Because he wanted the suit too. He stripped him.
Yeah, he stripped him of his suit, and he then kills the Santa, obviously. And then we later on see Sienna and Gabby at the shopping mall, and they're about to make some purchases, for family stuff. And of course, it turns out Art is there too, and he starts...
He's got mischief in mind, hasn't he? Mm.
Yeah. He passes Sienna when she's doing some purchases for her brother, Jonathan, who's at university. He's not coming to Christmas because of a sort of sorority party or dorm party.
Not a sorority, it's female frat party.
Frat party, whatever. I should mention. Also, some of the students, a friend of his and his girlfriend, who's been obsessed with crime, wants to interview him for...
Not podcast, well, vlogs.
A vlog.
Yes, a vlog, yeah.
Who wants to interview him for her vlog so she can get his story about the whole Art the Clown thing.
Yeah.
She's become so
fascinated with Art the Clown.
Anyway.
Who wouldn't be?
Yes. Anyway, she then later on, Sienna, she later tells her brother on the phone that she spotted Art the Clown at the mall, and eventually he distributes his toys while the small Santa is on a break.
He gets there, he's playing the role Santa, and he got a big bag of toys given out to all the children.
Yeah, and here comes the really grisly part, especially...
And guess what was in the presents were?
Oh, you soon see. Soon enough, as he's escorted off by the security officer while this is happening, one of the kids opens a box.
Well, while he's opening the box,
yes,
it goes boom. But I get the impression some of the other presents also had bombs in them as well. So it went bomb, and took out the whole Santa area.
And took out a few children too.
And, I just said that.
Yes.
Went boom in that area. So the kids who were in there got killed and stuff, and maybe a couple of parents got maimed or killed as well. So very nice.
Yeah. We get an interview much later where Tom Savini, as a bystander, gives a witness testimony to the newscasters later on, obviously.
It was Santa. Yeah.
Anyway, he just says he just heard a big boom, and bystanders, they don't give you the full facts, obviously.
Yeah, they overreact a bit, Yeah.
Sienna Sienna goes to her brother and tells her that she suspects that Art the Clown is back. Of course, her brother doesn't believe her because he thinks that you killed him. You chopped off his head, for goodness sakes.
Well...
But she doesn't...
Have you ever cut a chicken's head off? They still run around. Mm-hmm.
I like all these makeshift prosthetic special effects, including the part with the headless clown thing, because it makes me think back to the old 80s and 90s where you get away with type filming like that. It's great to see it return, making a comeback.
Yes.
Without using CGI, just using your makeshift, props and equipment. Anyway, so back to the story. she tells what she found, and then soon enough, his friend and his girlfriend arrive, and she's like, "Oh, I'm a big fan, and I want to get an interview." Blah blah blah, and she's like, "Oh, you want to hear about my trauma? How I wake up at night because I have these horrible nightmares and all that stuff.
Out for 5 years,
and I have all these scars over my body, and every time I look at them, I think about what's been taken away from me."
Yeah.
Then what does that tell you? You don't want to poke the bear, do you?
She was poking the bear a lot here. Hey, guess what? She gets hers back later.
Of course, the girl goes to her boyfriend's room, and she goes on about why it's only been 4 years. Well,
she should be over it by now.
Give me a break. Trauma like that, it's like those people in Vietnam or in the war.
It doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away.
No.
The war is still
going on in their heads.
heads.
In her case, the wolf, Art the Clown, is still going on.
Yeah. Anyway, when Jonathan hears this, he breaks down and he takes some pills and he sleeps for a couple of hours. Of course,
his last sleep.
Obviously. Then later on at the dorm, obviously, Art the Clown arrives there and he sees the two kids that Jonathan's friends talking, and the girl's obsessing over her, Art the Clown, and he's like, "Oh, I'm such a
fan of his.
I'm a big fan.
Oh, I just love to see him, blah blah blah, have a chat and interview him, and I just love him so much." And Art's the background. Oh, shucks! Oh, I got a fan. This is where David Thornton really, he's really good.
Yeah, it kind of both of us got laughed at that bit. Anyway, soon enough, those two they decide to go have a nice bath together, a shower, bath, whatever.
One's sitting down and one's standing up.
Yeah. Anyway, Art eventually arrives there in Psycho style with a chainsaw.
Yeah, Leatherface would be so proud.
And he kills both of them. He really takes
very nicely.
He really takes it to town by sawing the man the most in the scene. Obviously, it's really gory.
And she wanted to get up close and personal with Art, and she did.
Oh yes, she did.
Last couple of minutes alive.
Oh yeah, now she's regretting that statement for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, soon enough.
Very nice. Yeah.
So anyway, we don't know what happens to Jonathan. We think he was murdered by Art the Clown. We believe.
Did we find his head later on in the house?
That could have been. It seems the head was beyond recognition. You cannot make out the features on the head because it's already skeleton and all the skin's peeled off.
He damaged it. He probably froze his head and different things.
That could have been anyone's head, for I know. He could have escaped. He could have. But then again, this is Art the Clown we're talking about.
But didn't he have glasses on?
Yes, he did. But he could actually take them off and just.
No, I think it implied it was him.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But he may have an extra pair of glasses. Who knows? Anyway, back to the story. When Sienna hears the news about the mole-ish thingy-wing that happened, she begins to panic and tries to convey this fact to both her aunt and uncle that they're in big trouble and they should flee and get Jonathan and get the hell out of this town. Of course, both of them think that she's gone troppo and they think that they should take her back to the hospital.
Yeah, put it back in there, yeah. She's gone, she's lost the plot. No, she hasn't actually. She's the only sane one there.
Gabby is the only one who probably believes her, and
she's seen a couple of things happening and read the diary too. So.
Yeah, so she's. Also, I should mention, Sienna actually got the special sword that was able to kill Art the Clown in the second movie.
In the second movie, she had this sword. We don't know where it came from. It had in a room. Dad could have bought it for her from one of those weird shops or whatever. And it really had some magical powers because she actually used that in the first movie to slice Art's head off.
Yeah, and when
it actually worked.
And when she died, she managed to come back, meaning she plays a key destiny, like something. And when she goes for another, has a little bit of sleep time for a minute, we see the full story of how we see that her father did make a female character that resembles her from the from the first movie, the Terrifier 2.
She had some sort of...
she had a flaming sword that's in her hand.
Like a sword of... is it Azrael or something? Well, angels, flaming sword, kill demons.
Yeah. And of course,
Ariel,
when he gives it to her, we get they kind of have a vision, both of them. And we get something coming, that something is coming from another part of his studio.
Something wicked this way cometh.
Yeah. Sienna is warned by her father. This was probably just a dream that she had, an actual...
It could be dream sequence only.
Could be the fact that she had a memory of this incident that happened and just plain old forgot, it happens.
Anyway.
Then we get the adults... the teen Sienna looking at, she's in hell or a demonic area where she sees two demons in there. We see who are growling and snarling and stuff. I don't know if maybe that's Art the Clown's real form, maybe, or that this is where the birth of the sword, the sword came from, obviously.
Don't know.
We don't know. It's not. I mean,
there's no backstory on the sword.
There is no so much of a backstory in the scene. But anyway, soon enough, she wakes up and she goes downstairs. She starts hearing both her aunt and uncle talking, saying that they should take her back to the mental institute because she's just gone troppo. And then it gets become darker and sinister as she enters the room, and we see that Art the Clown and Victoria are there. Victoria's now dressed in a makeshift clown outfit, obviously.
Very nice.
Of course, she painted her face and stuff like that. And throughout the scene, she sort of narrates.
Yes, she talks a bit like a demon.
Anyway, she then knocks Sienna out, and they strap her to a chair, and they begin to hurt her. And we then see her aunt, I think her name is Jessie, sitting in front of her, and we see not only that, but what's the remains of Uncle Shaw, who's now
Greg's head was on top of the Christmas tree,
and the rest of his body's been
pinned to the wall,
with his guts hanging out.
Yes, he dropped his guts.
Like he's been chainsawed, down from the groin to the chest, I think.
Yeah, he's straight down the middle. Yeah.
Well, not straight down the middle.
She tries to run.
Well, she can't, considering she's strapped to a chair.
I just said, but she does try to get out, and she gets impressed by the mallet as well. So
anyway,
did she get away with it?
No, she was strapped to a chair.
No. She's trying to run away before she got strapped to a chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she gets strapped to a chair, and both Art and Victoria, they begin to tiny bits of torture, obviously, and they kind of hit her across the head, use the mallet to break her hands, obviously, and of course, Victoria taunts her by saying you were the one, and that all that stuff. I think deep down that this is Victoria is not who we think she is. We realize that she's the demon.
I think she died and the little demon girl's took it over.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why she's so bent.
That's why we don't see the little girl anymore. That's my theory.
Yeah.
After Victoria got attacked by Art the Clown, she lost her dignity on the the news thing, and somehow she's transformed into this nasty individual.
I think she must have died or something. I think the body's actually got to physically die, and then the demon comes into it or something or other. So she might have actually died or killed herself off screen, and the little girl demon, or the demon inside the little girl or whatever, it's taken over the body. Yeah. We think.
Yeah. So, anyway, let me see. Oh, yeah. Victoria taunts her, tells her that you are the one, and I'm going to possess your body so we can tear you up inside. Meaning they want to have her as the new vessel, blah, blah. Yeah. But first, they must dispose of...
Victoria's getting a bit ratty by now. She's falling apart.
But first, she needs to dispose of the very people that sort of become a link between Sienna and her family.
She's trying to get rid of all those links, earthly links, like get rid of her uncle, her aunt, her brother, Jonathan.
Yeah, seems
the idea was they were going to get rid of Gabby.
Yeah. We also find I think Jonathan's head inside a bird cage, which makes me think of a trap I saw one time in a wax museum the menu a while ago. Anyway, at first she says it's Gabby
But she lied.
But she
Gabby
lied.
still lied. Then she did admit that it was Jonathan later on.
Because she said that she places glasses on his head, and not to mention the fact that his head you can't see if it's Jonathan or not because
his
face is beyond recognition. Like you could make.
She said it was Jonathan. Leave it alone. Let's keep going.
Anyway, dear old Gabby's mother gets brutally killed by having rats stuffed down her throat.
Well, he has this big plastic tube and he rams her mouth open and puts this big tube down her throat and hammers it through there and starts putting rats down there.
Yes.
And then he cuts the throat, let the rats out. Isn't that nice? No rats were hurt during the making of the film.
Yeah, this makes me think of the trap I'm thinking of with the cage. Where
Mr. Saw would love this
where,
one.
You put a bird's cage on your victim's head and put a bunch of rats in there, and when they start wanting to get out, they use the dead body as a bit of a
food
as to get down their victim's throat and then chew their way out through the body.
Nice.
It's really disgusting to boot. Anyway, so we then notice that Gabby's still alive, and of course, Victoria tries to take over Sienna's body, but unfortunately,
she's too strong.
She's too strong, and she still has one link left in the chain. Gabby is still alive.
Her love for Gabby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she doesn't want to see anything bad happening to her, obviously. Of course, they're about to kill Gabby, but then Gabby mentions about a present that's still under the tree, which turns out to be the sword that dear old Sienna got back from the Terrifier theme park.
Yeah, she hid it there and she dug it up and brought it back there, wrapped up in a gift to hide it there.
Yeah, good point. Anyway, she notices that it's... and then gives it to Sienna to open. And of course, the old Art, he unties her, but at the same time, still brutalizes her hands.
With the mallet and says, yeah, here, you open it. Victoria says, you open it.
Yes.
Yeah, and she tries to open it, fumbling with her sore hands.
Yeah, and as she's looking at it, she says... she then opens it, and then she takes a swipe at Art the clown, and then she throws the knife right into Victoria's chest, killing her instantly. And of course, she continues taking it home by really letting both of them have it.
Yeah, but she cuts Victoria's head off, and all her blood goes on the floor and starts to dissolve the floor. I didn't know what was happening first. What's the smoke?
While this is happening, Sienna continues fighting Art the clown as best she can, obviously. And of course, there were a few moments where she's fighting against him with her while he's fighting with her with chainsaw, obviously.
Yeah, she's doing what she's holding her own quite nicely. Yeah.
While dear old Gabby tries to help, revive her mother.
But Mum's dead.
Mum's dead,
but she then looks over her shoulder and sees the floor seems to be all smoky and stuff. And guess what happens?
Well, it turns out that Victoria's blood, which is demonic blood, is starting to dissolve in the floor, creating a portal to hell. And of course, it opens it up, and then dear old Gabby clings to the edge of the portal. And while this is happening, Sienna is fighting for her life with Art, and eventually she has him pinned to the wall with her knife. And of course, she has to quickly save her cousin. So she quickly grabs the knife and tries to get to the portal before it starts. Well, it may close any moment when you think about it. But soon enough, they're holding onto the dagger and sword. Gabby ends up falling into the pit, and the sword goes with her, obviously.
Yes.
Then we see Sienna. The portal closes, and Sienna looks around, sees Art the clown's gone.
But doesn't you see other things different, like her uncle's body wasn't on the wall and everything?
No, he was still pinned to the wall.
Okay, just the hands got better. Yeah.
And her hands somehow, because they were cutting the sword. She was cutting. Had the sword blade in her palm.
Trying to use it to reach
because she was
Gabby.
giving her the handle to hold on to. But, blades, if they don't really go really well if you're slicing into your flesh.
Nah.
Anyway, we then see Art the Clown at the bus stop and getting picked up, and he then he sits down, and both we have two passengers on there, and of course we don't know what happens to them. Then we fade out the end. Obviously,
we get the impression
that he kills them next.
The passenger and the bus driver don't make it to the terminal. No.
Yes. Anyway, that's the Terrifier 3, obviously. I wasn't too keen about watching this one, but I wanted to watch it so I will see what will happen. I was hoping that they'll have a good outcome, but I suspect in the fourth one, which is the final installment, I think, is going to probably give me a run for my money. It's right, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Even though the second one, Terrifier, was pretty impressive, especially the fight scenes and the fact that Sienna had this awesome costume she wore that in that scene, obviously, and the fact that she sort of has this destiny to vanquish these demons, and I still wonder about the incredible sort of magic attached to the sword, whether or not her father bought this from a Wicca store or something like that,
and
didn't know its significance till much later on. Because I think deep down he knew about the fate of the world and his daughter's great destiny that awaited her. I don't know. Anyway, I like to think he must have had an ability to know the future, and that's why, along the lines, he didn't know how to deal with what was going to happen, and that's why he became an abusive father, according to some people in the story. And the fact he developed a brain tumor, and then he kind of died in a car crash.
Oh, I don't know about that. Anyway, right. I won't go into it too much. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's a slasher movie. It's a Christmas slasher movie. Ho, ho, bloody ho. Box office, making a buckloads of money, and I think it's going to do better on home media.
Yeah.
So these guys are on a winner, and I just hope that Terrifier 4 doesn't get too, doesn't rest on its laurels, and that gets a really nice sharp story to keep the momentum running in the same direction it's going now.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think really it's going to be like another Halloween or something, right? It's going to go on for another couple of seasons and go, right, here we go.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be there for a while, hopefully.
Yeah, as long as it gives us some fresh, stories. I like to think this one, even though we have had many Halloweens, and most people would say certain Halloweens are not as sharp as some, obviously, but I think this one may come as not really the sharpest one in the box, but I hope that the fourth one will manage to gain my interest. Obviously, pique my interest.
I had to turn my head a couple of times, but I really do not like the look. I don't mind slasher films. I don't mind a little bit of grisly gore and guts and stuff, but sometimes when it gets a little bit too
dicey,
like in Hellraiser and stuff. I mean, I've got to turn my head sometimes, honestly.
Yeah.
And it gets to the stage where I don't want to risk throwing up on the floor. Now, critical response.
What's that guy here?
Rotten Tomatoes, 77%. That's out of 115 critics. That's not bad. But Metacritic, 61 out of 100. Post-track, give it 76%. I'm not going through what all the comments are, but there's too many of them. A guy writing for Slant Magazine, Rocco Thompson, described the storyline as being half-formed, but praised the leading performances and the practical effects. Thompson highlighted Scaffidi's performance in particular.
Good.
It's a surprisingly spooky Victoria Hayes who emerges as the film's villain, MVP, whatever it means.
She manages to talk.
No, MVP, whatever. What with the overwhelming art, often playing second banana to their scenes together. So yeah, actually, just some comment there that Damien Leone regretted not making her role, Victoria's role, stronger in the second movie.
It's a
because
shame.
he thought, well, instead of just have her walking around and hanging out with art, he made her a stronger person in the third movie, and he thinks he should have done the same thing in the second movie.
I think the outcome of these 3 movies so far, I think it's doing a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I would want to see Victoria, reappear in the second one too soon.
No, the point is, I think he could have given it a little bit more. What's the word? Up screen time instead of down screen time. So a stronger role to play.
But seeing as the sequel one was more to introduce our protagonist and her backstory to why, like, even though we still don't know the full backstory to how did her father come in possession of that sword,
Don't know.
and how did he knew that what was going to come, and how did he knew about Art's existence before the murders were committed?
Who knows?
And
Anyway.
the fact that, including the part where it deals with, demons, where, you mentioned that maybe in the first movie, that Art the Clown at that one was just an ordinary person. But then when he got murdered the first time, that was when he suddenly, the demons took over his body, and he still maintained that particular Art, creepy clown persona, because it did say in the story that only a person who's tainted with evil will be possessed by an evil demon or demonic stuff.
Yeah.
Which means that when Art was dead, the demons took over him, even though he still maintained his similar appearance and similar his behavior and similar horrible, creepy mannerisms.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, there are a few more things on reviews here, and some of the people are praising David and Lauren for their performances, and especially with Lauren Lavera as Horror's brightest new star, and
I think so.
A second time around as Sienna Shaw. So, what's this space? Hey,
yeah, I do think that these 3 filmmakers who are working with David, obviously, they managed to do something that not too many filmmakers have done since for a long time. They managed to do the what that one reviewer said, where he says that they maintained a certain practical filming style. Instead of let's just use CGI to just keep it loose,
practical effects to make it. If you go over the top for your effects too much, it looks so false. But if you keep it simple, sometimes it's grisly and it's really good.
And so far, we have been really impressed with these independent guys. I feel that Damien, the director, is going to go on to become one of the new rising star directors in this industry.
Yeah, that's true. I think he's going to be really good.
And the same with
Damien wrote it too. So
and I imagine that David will become the most sorted out actor thanks to his performance, his stage presence, and
Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and Art the Clown all there at the same time.
Well, some people have told me over the years, whenever since I did a slasher, they keep asking me, why can't a stalker talk? With stalkers, they don't need to talk. They have to have stage presence.
Yeah, exactly right.
Some people just think, it wouldn't be a slasher if they didn't talk, but to me, if he didn't talk, then it wouldn't be a slasher.
But Michael Myers doesn't talk. Jason Voorhees doesn't talk. Art the Clown doesn't talk, and he scares the crap out of me.
Yes. Even though we do have other slashers like Leprechaun, and
he talks.
He talks a bit. You never get him to shut up anyway. And you also have Freddy Krueger, who is a definite chatterbox.
He talks. I got like kitties here doing. Yeah.
And a lot of other ones here and there that do know how to ramble on and don't. And
if you're going to kill someone, don't talk to them. They don't talk to them. Just kill them.
Like the character from Good and Bad and the Ugly. Shoot, don't talk.
Yeah, see, if you're going to shoot somebody, shoot them. Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, here we go. Now, How many points?
Oh, yes, good point. Time to us to rate this one.
I'm going to give this a 9.5.
I'm going to give...
I was going to give it a 10, but there's room for improvement so far as like...
Yeah.
I mean, I still can't get out of the fact that the Shaw family name should have been different.
Yeah, considering if Jessica, who's a sister to...
Her mother...
They would have to
have different
married names.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense if they somehow...
Oh, they married their cousins. So
that doesn't make too much sense, you know.
So yeah, that little mistake. I mean, and that... I'm a stickler for detail.
Yeah, I'm strictly... When it comes to stuff like that, someone has not read the memo that actors, especially if they were, people would often get to change their name when they get married. Some people don't, others do. And it would only make sense if somehow her mother was related to her uncle. But that would make a little bit more sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if it was her
uncle.
If her uncle was her brother instead of her his wife being her sister, that's all. Yeah, that would have worked better. But they said she was a sister, so she went to stay with her aunt and her husband, which would indicate her aunt was the sister of her mother, because it was implied that there was a sister. I think so. Yeah,
it would make sense.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're dwelling on it for no real reason apart from waffling.
I tend to waffle.
That's why I just said so. That's what's holding back. I stick on detail.
Yeah, I'm strictly detailed.
What are you going to give it? I'm going to give it 9.5. What are you giving it?
Well, like you, Mike, I would have given this one a 10, but my conscience tells me I need to give it a 9.5 too.
That's still good. Still, hey, I think you really enjoy it.
Yeah, I like the special effects using props and prosthetics and special effects makeup. I shout out to the Damien and his crew. They do manage to get that kind of gore in a good proportion.
Yeah.
Even the deaths off screen, even though I keep wondering whether or not Jonathan is still alive or he's dead, even though they say he's dead.
Supposedly it was his head. I mean, you didn't go to a second-hand shop and get someone's head rolling around.
He practically went to town with his roommate's head and body, I should say, and you can just since one of the major things about Art the Clown is removing their skin and removing their facial features, you could just use anyone's head to pretend to be Jonathan.
They were trying to destroy anybody she was close to, and that was her brother.
Yes.
It had to be his head.
I know. But remember,
no good if he just walks to the door and say, "Hey, how you going, sis?"
But remember what we've discovered with Victoria. She lied when she said it was Gabby.
She lied that
and then
she was just trying to get a reaction out of it. Says, "I lied to you. It's actually your brother, Jonathan said." Okay. That's what was wearing the glasses.
Yeah,
because it was his head. But they put the glasses on to highlight the fact that it was Jonathan.
Yeah, but anyone can pluck off a bunch of glasses. He may have a spare pair in his dormitory, and instead of sticking around like the normal individual, like a sane person, he decides to up and run before Art got there. He was practically on his toes in the last movie, so he could have not stuck around to wait. I like to think he may play a key part in the fourth one. I hope.
I got the impression Jonathan was laying on his bed, drugged out with some sleeping pills.
Yeah. But he woke up.
I can't imagine him jumping up and running away too
much.
Yeah,
but he woke up before this happened, and there's no way he could have just. He slept for a measly couple minutes, just like Sienna did, and there's a chance that he may have got out of there before Art arrived there. Obviously,
probably.
But that's very slim. And
I can't imagine doing a 3-minute mile.
Maybe not a 3-minute mile, but he may manage to get away before Art got there, because he was warned by Sienna that Art was still alive and that they should do something. They should plan something. They should try to get their butts in gear and leave. And of course, once he killed his roommate and tore him apart limb for limb, he could have severed his head off, like all the limbs he took like he did with all the other victims he's already so much did, including tearing off their faces, leaving them, except for a coroner who could work out who they might be.
This might belong to him. Anyway,
where
do you get it? Here we go. eBay, it's for sale, and Amazon, it's for sale. I did notice some say, what do you got? What are prepaying? So some are saying, if you order it now, it won't be ready for another couple of weeks. But again, we're ahead of time here. Yes, in a couple of weeks' time, it might be okay. So eBay and Amazon, other places might have it. Now, pre-orders. Be careful of that. You might not get it till sometime in December.
I just mean that, Mike, that people they do, especially Jonathan in that scene, even though he was his character changed after 4 years, obviously, but there's no way he could have changed and realized that much when such danger was approaching. Okay. All right, go on.
Am I allowed to talk, am I? Oh,
yes.
Goody.
Good grief.
Okay, where was I? Oh, yeah, when you go looking, there are special sets you can buy of this. With lots of goodies in it. I don't know what they are, but they're a couple $100 worth. But you get the real one cheaper, obviously. And sometimes you can get I think you get a triple pack. I noticed. Terrifier 1, 2, and 3. If you if you haven't got the other ones, that's also available. But watch out, pre-orders. Don't say, I couldn't get it. But obviously it's brand new and it's they're still getting the stocks in. But I think some of them say they are for sale now.
Yeah, and if there's a fourth one on its way, which it is.
Yeah.
I like to wait until if they do a fourth installment, and that's the final installment, then that would be a good chance to actually buy the full set.
Right, now I was going to say, that, now by the way, Amazon, I didn't see anything for rent at this point in time. Having said that, in 2 or 3 weeks' time, when you're listening to this, they might have it for rent. I don't know. One would think it was going to come out as a rental, and it should come out on other streaming sites as well. So you'll find it somewhere.
I should mention in the final bit when Gabby disappeared, Sienna said that she'll try to find Gabby, and I like to think
she could jump down the hole.
I like to think using that magic sword, there might be a way for her to return using the magic sword. Sienna did the same thing in Terrifier 2.
Well, maybe she grabs onto the sword and holds it and does things. The sword might actually save her, but I don't know if she's actually holding the sword when she fell.
Yeah, me neither. But
she might get it when she gets down the bottom.
Yeah, but wherever she went to, it probably comes with her.
No, it's going with her, but I don't know where it's going to end up. Whether it's going to be she can land on the ground, the sword's going to go straight through her chest, or it's going to land next to her, or somewhere else in hell.
Yeah, of course. And I like to think in the final one, we probably work out exactly how Sienna defeats Art the Clown. Probably, maybe we'll find a little bit more information that then later on as we go along. Obviously, to find out the final pieces to the puzzle.
Well, I hope when they actually do the final movie, whether if Terrifier 4 is the final or Terrifier 5 or whatever, I hope they got some closure on it. If they decide, this is going to be the last movie, we want to put him to bed. You want to make sure he's gone forever.
I think the deep on down, Damon says that he hopes to have a closure in this one.
A lot of them leave it open. We'll leave it open so he might come back. We don't know yet. And see how it goes to the box office. Make a commitment to the product and say the art and say the storyline. So we looked at a lot of old TV series like The Time Tunnel, Lost in Space, some of those. They just killed the series off before the people actually got home.
Yeah.
So the people still lost in space. Bill Mummy is still up there somewhere. And
they didn't even do they did a movie, but they still were lost in space.
Yes, and in the time tunnel, the guys were I think they sort of got back similar areas.
Yeah, several times,
but not necessarily at the right time. They didn't get back to their laboratory at the same time they wanted to be there in a time-space continuum sort of thing. So they're still lost in time and space and stuff.
The same I could say for Land of the Giants, where those people still live on that island, that area.
Or wherever they are. Yeah. So they're running around. You watch out for mouse holes. There might be some little people living in them.
Yeah, by giant mice. Mice.
Yeah. I hate it when they just kill something off which is popular. Gilligan's Island. That was another one.
Yeah, that's another.
They never got off the island.
Except for in the movie, obviously.
No, in the movie they did, but escaped. Yeah. But the point of the series, they killed it off when it was a popular series.
Yeah.
I don't. Why don't they just say, okay, well, this is going to be the final series. Let's get them off the island.
Yeah.
But no.
But in the end, mostly, they did manage to stay on the island and make it into a sort of resort thingy, you know.
Didn't they go? They went back and didn't they go on a cruise on the movie there and then they're back on the island? Yeah, another storm?
Yeah,
in one of the movies?
Yeah. Anyway, in the end, they turned it into a holiday resort for people who just needed to get away. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Where the Howls become the, sort of the owners, while the rest become silent, very silent partners.
Gilligan, silent? Skipper silent? Nah.
Yeah, I gotta admit, that was pretty cool.
Gotta go.
Right.
That's about it.
Yeah.
You know where to get it. You know our thoughts. This is really top viewing.
Yes. If you haven't watched this one, I highly recommend you actually watch the entire series.
I was going to say, if you haven't seen the other, I would suggest you have a look at 1 and 2 before you look at 3, because even though it's a standalone film per se, you don't really need to see them, but at least you get the feel for it. It's like watching Babysitter 1 and 2. You can watch Babysitter 2, but it's nice to see Babysitter 1 to get the backstory for Babysitter 2. There you go. Yeah. There you go. So apart from that, I can't think of anything else to say apart from see you later.
Yes. So that's it from us, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. And
I did.
Yeah, we'll be sure to do some more Christmas ones as we go along. I'm still.
Yeah, I think we're trying to stay in the Christmas mode. We've only got about four or five left, haven't we?
Yeah, I want to get in 2 or 3 more before before Christmas starts. Obviously,
and whatever. If we run out of Christmas ideas, we'll just throw something else in.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's it from us, guys. So that since you guys have been wondering, as I said before, we won't be doing another David one. Obviously, we've already.
We've done David.
We've done our fill of David for this one.
I'd like to meet him, Scott. He's really good.
I hope someday we can actually meet him at a
festival or something, or
Supernova conference, or I don't know. I mean, we don't have Halloween or horror con type events, unlike in America, who have
more
plenty.
things over there.
Because if we have one up here, it would be great to actually see a few horror people before
I'd like to meet him, Elvira, and other people, and we don't come over here very often, so it's very sad for us.
Yeah, as I said, if we don't have any horror-related horror con thingy wings over here, then there's a chance we may not even get the famous horror icons to come out here.
How rude.
Yes, it is rude. And it makes it even more harder to, when you get autographs in the mail, you don't even know if they're the real deal or not. That's the big issue.
They probably are, but...
that's the thing.
I said it probably are, but not all of them. I don't think. You say you don't know. But some will come for a certificate saying this has actually been signed by the person, and you'd like to think they're not telling you a fib.
I agree.
But some say, hey, here's an autograph, photograph somebody, and there's no certification. There's a good chance it's been signed by one of many.
Yeah, or his agent, or whoever is assigned to him.
The people running the distribution. You got somebody there copying his signature, and they sign all the thingies. Well, love from so-and-so, it's Charlie Brown, whatever, and they just do that sort of stuff, and that's part of the deal. And it looks like the signature and handwriting, but it's not.
Yeah, it's a scary thought. Yeah. That's why I prefer meeting these people in person and maybe more or less getting a photo with them, because photos are much more better than autographs.
We went to that thing here, that Supernova here, and you saw the guy out of the Goonies.
Sean Astin.
And he signed a book for her.
Yeah, he did.
The old Goonies book. What?
Yeah. I also made a few.
I've seen his book for ages. Yeah.
I also got to see the guy from Wolf Creek there, obviously. Yeah. But he's an Australian actor, so he's been around for years.
We met him and other people. And we saw the guy who does the Winnie the Pooh and Digger voice.
That was a great opportunity to meet him. He was really nice. Yeah. I actually got to record some of his voice, and he sounded just like Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. And I imagined a few other voices if I ever got to sit down a chance to talk to him more. Yeah. Of course, when you're at certain events like this, you cannot talk to them.
You've only got so much time, so
Anyway, you can only get say 1 minute or less than that.
You'll be lucky, yeah.
You're lucky to
depending
actually...
depending how busy they are, if they've got a long queue of people waiting to say hello, they can't stay, I'll have a chat to you for 5 minutes. So it's not going to happen. Anyway, we're in overtime now. Okay?
All right. So that's it from us, guys. So it's now the chance for you guys to actually watch the thing. I suggest watch it at Christmas time because there's even an interesting remix of a Christmas song at the end of the movie. Obviously.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
It's funny.
Now, what I was going to say is too. I said before, if you have not seen Terrifier 1 and 2, I suggest have a night in after dinner. Put the 3 movies on in a row.
Yes.
You probably won't sleep that night, but
it will gross you out, probably.
No, you get a couple of friends around, cup of coffee, couple of beers, glass of wine.
When you're going to watch a horror movie like this, you're going to need a few friends, or at least close by, in case you throw up.
Or your boyfriend.
Or anyway, so that's it from us, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I hope we see you guys for our next few before we shut down shop for this year.
Yeah.
So that's it from me. This is your horror host, Sarah Stephenson,
and Michael.
And this is Mike, my host, obviously.
Good-looking guy.
Yes, and we'll see you guys for our next one, which might be in a couple of days. Okay, so see you guys then. All right, bye for now.
Bye.